Hello and welcome to Flippin' Through, the internet's #1 Mad Magazine news, review, and interview channel. And today we're flipping through Mad Magazine number 149, released March 1972. Our price, 40 cents, which is indeed cheap. But before we do that, please let me remind you to hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. That is the #1 way that you can support this channel, help it continue to grow. We're at over 1,400 subscribers, and I hope to keep this channel growing, but I can't do it without your support. So please consider hitting like, hitting subscribe, and leaving a comment down below. If you want to support me in another way, patreon.com/flippinthrough. I got stuff. You can check that out. Here are the people that Here are the people that I get to thank for their support today. Ben Forsgren, Joey Gesso, Reflection of Perfection, Misimo, Tom Richmond, David Strickler, Megan McInerney, Bobby Weigel, Cam Hayden, Rob Wilson, Rod Meadsperry, Andrew Goldfarb, Casey Ori, and Little Cozy Nostril. Thank you guys so much for the support. I hope I can keep on earning it. With that, let's get back. Oh, great. Let's get back over here to the issue at hand. Anyway, Mad Magazine number 149. Look at, here's Ernest Borgnine. This is one of those issues. I hadn't read this before. I never got this cover. I've seen this cover. We have Alfred E. Neuman pointing at Ernest Borgnine, who is covered with Mickey Mouses. Now, I just noticed this. In this issue, we tear apart Willard, the original Willard film about the boy who controls rats, starred Ernest Borgnine, and so they rip that apart in this issue. Here we have the, Here we have the house ad for the super special and the vital features. And there's some pretty good features in this one, I do have to say. I was kind of excited at first because I thought, oh great, a suicide ad that I can add to my collection. It's not. It's a biblical ad. Why not have the next issue sent directly to your home? Is it biblical? Is that Jonah, or is that Pinocchio's dad? Who is Pinocchio's? Geppetto. I don't know. Either way, I'm a little let down. Here we have here's a picture of a nice Indian fellow. It says, "Meet Sudhir Dar." As you can see from the photograph, the reaction here to "Meet Sudhir Dar" has been rather mixed. These damn critics. Everyone who has seen my feature in your issue has been struck dumb by the brilliant lettering of the title. No one believes it wasn't done by an Indian. Even I was fooled for a while. You guys are professionals to your fingertips. I only hope guest appearances in Mad aren't those once-in-a-lifetime flings. Can we do it again? Give it to me gently now. Some of us underdeveloped nuts have overdeveloped egos. Sudhir Dar, New Delhi, India. Now, bad news for Sudhir Dar, despite his very nice letter to the letters department. That was his only appearance in Mad Magazine. Maybe that would be fun, is to do a video about the best single appearances in Mad Magazine. That would be a lot of work, I think. Anyway, here's the circulation numbers. These are always very interesting. I've done a whole video on the circulation numbers year by year over time. Total copies printed 2.5 million. Paid circulation 1.7 million. That's quite a bit. But then they have all these extras that they give away, and also that just kind of go unsold at the newsstand. Road signs we'd like to post. This one is hit or miss. I mean, this is a lot like when they'll just take photographs and put captions on it, except the captions are, just describing what is in the photo, right? Like here's what year is this? 1972. So here's a picture of Vietnam, and there's a bunch of dead people, and it just says stop. I mean, that's like, it's hard to argue with that, right? Dead end, doing heroin, shooting heroin into your thigh, hiking up your skirt and shooting heroin, some H into your thigh. Okay, dump. I don't know. That's a politician. No smoking, and it's smokestacks. As I recall, it gets a little bit better. Like loading zone is kind of funny. Dip. Dip would be funnier if that was like a politician. Like that person is a dip. There's a dip in the road. Anyway, Gay Liberation Front, alternate route. I think that one's kind of funny. Slow down, danger ahead. And it's babies. What does that mean? It could mean anything. Who knows? One Dark and Lonely Night. This was amazing. Here we have Don Martin. I wonder who wrote this, though. I wonder if it was him or Duck Edwing. So he's like flipping through. Ooh. Anyway, he's flipping through, puts his finger on the newspaper. Zicka, zacka, zicka, zacka, zicka, 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 ring-a-ling. Hello? Hello, with whom do you wish to speak? And then this is 778774. With whom did you wish to speak? And then he thinks 778774. Rats, wrong number. So he was just he's sort of like a well-meaning pervert. Like he doesn't want to harass just random women. He wants to harass a very specific woman. I don't know. It was kind of fun. Truly relevant TV shows. Artist Angelo Torres. Writer Tim Koch. As we go through, this is so storefront broadcasters. Television show I've never heard of, but they do get a little bit more. They make a little bit more sense as we go on. More sense to me, I should say. The Mary Taylor, because Mary Tyler Moore show, the Mary Taylor Maid show. Is that about golf, or is it about working at a tailor? Here you have Barney, Hawaii Channel 50, and the FDA. I don't know what that is about. Anyway, this is like one of the problems with like these throwback issues, these issues from back in the 60s and 70s, is that like my pop culture knowledge for that era is pretty limited. Like it didn't survive to be aired on Nick at Night. I don't really know it, as evidenced by, I know this, I don't know this. I know Mary Tyler Moore show, I don't know the other one. Mary Tyler Moore show takes place in Minnesota, in Minneapolis. I couldn't leave that one unmentioned. These are, I like these. I don't always read them, but this one I thought I can't pass up. Hey, muckraking fans, here is a fictionalized mad look at what we'd probably find if we were to make a thorough study of the contents of Ralph Nader's wallet. Ralph Nader, of course, was like, he was a consumer advocate, I guess you would call him, turned presidential candidate. That's how I know him. When I grew up, he was the presidential candidate, Ralph Nader. Nader LeDuc, Winona LeDuc, who is from Minnesota. Anyway, everything comes back to Minnesota. So Ralph Nader, I think, is probably most famous for his book Unsafe at Any Speed, which was it like the Corvair or something? It was this rear-engined car that had a tendency to roll over. The way the suspension was made, it made it very susceptible to rolling over at any speed. That's what made it unsafe at any speed. But anyway, I think it was he talked about other things in that book outside of the Corvair, but that's mostly what it was. So what is kind of strange is like, why would he keep all of this stuff in his wallet? Here we have, no, No, that's not what the one. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, yeah, Spectre and Bobrick, music publishers, Brill Building, New York City. Dear Mr. Nader, we are in receipt of your recent letter. As publishers of your in your Merry Oldsmobile, we think that you've gone out of your gourd, man. Your claim that this song is unsafe and should not be sung at any speed is like ridiculous. No doubt about it, man. You are a nut, a fanatic. Groovingly yours, Sam Bobrick, President. Here's Ralph Nader. This is his letter back. Dear Mr. Bobrick, I repeat my claims that your song is unsafe and should not be sung at any speed, as indeed all songs are unsafe and should not be sung at any speed by rock groups. Rock groups have a tendency to perform at extremely high decibels, this increasing the already intolerable noise pollution that is permeating our atmosphere and posing an increasing danger to our nation's consumers. So you see, I am not a nut or a fanatic. Alertly yours, Ralph Nader. P.S. I have conducted tests on the stationery you use and have discovered it is made from trees illegally cut from the main forest. Thus, you have contributed to the destruction of our environment. Next time I am in New York City, I will place you and your partner under a citizen's arrest. Uh, they're just ragging on poor Nader, whose heart was in the right place. Here's Mrs. Agatha Nader, 135 Hamden Road, Winsted, Connecticut. Dear Ralph, you were always my favorite nephew. I remember as a boy, you were always polite, obedient, and well-mannered. That is why it is hard for me to understand the sudden change in your behavior. It was with all good intentions that I invited you to my dinner party last Friday evening, but instead of being grateful, you came and embarrassed me in front of all my guests. Firstly, you claimed that my fruit salad contained monosodium glutamate, and then you had the nerve to stand up and demand the recall of my meatloaf. How dare you act in such a boorish manner? This will not be forgotten, dear nephew. I am seriously considering recycling you in my will. I love that last line in particular. Recycling you in my will. Weird wallet contents. I do have that to say. Here we have the Sports Spectator's Hall of Fame, writer Tom Koch, artist, I mean, it's sports. And you should be able to look at this and know immediately who it is. Jack Davis, old Jackie boy. Look, this is what I really wanted to show, is this. I love this. Look at the horse head right there. Look at this crowd. And then the crowd turns into a line going into the Hall of Fame. How cool is that? How cool. How good is Jack Davis? He's the best, baby. That's the only acceptable answer. Okay? Anyway, this Spy versus Spy is great. Kind of weird. It's like I feel like he needed one more panel. He needed one more panel like this size or something to fully tell this story. So he has the turtles and the dynamite, ties the turtles to some strings, and oh yeah. This is even better. One has the dynamite, and then one has a candle that he lights. And then they swim. They get snagged on the sign. You can see they're swimming past it, but that sign is attached to another turtle, which dragged them back down and beneath the bridge that the black spy was standing on. And this is like, I love this. And look at, you can see this. I point this out a lot. He'll always do, not always, he'll often do this though with boards where he'll draw the wood grain on it. And fascinating behavior. Here we have the lighter side of dropping out. You should hit pause and then and read all of this. There you go. How do you have so much material? That's like 5 pages. Here we have the enterprising young Amazon. Listen to me, Dad. Business is not going to pick up. People aren't interested in shrunken heads anymore. There's nothing you can do with them. Hang them on the wall for decoration. That's it. We've got to come up with another use for shrunken heads, Dad. New gimmick, though, people will go for. Got just the right thing. I tell you, Dad, can't miss. Newton's cradle. Would that work? Would that work with people's skulls? Well, I guess no, because famously shrunken heads don't have skulls. The bones are removed, aren't they? Um, here we go. This is Harry Gresper's New Year's resolutions, and this one, I didn't want to skip. This is like it's really word heavy, and I can't go over the whole thing, but boy, when they are hitting satire, it's so good. I think like this is a great example of something that was kind of lost over the course of Mad Magazine. That it's sort of like a level of satire that I don't know that Mad achieved again, which is satirizing like a sort of like a personality type that doesn't fit into like some confined box of politics or socioeconomic status or race or anything like that. Like Harry Gresper could be anybody, and they're satirizing. They're satirizing in this somebody that you know. They might be satirizing you in this. That's what's so brilliant about it. So I'm going to zoom in, and you can see there's like this, there's 4 years of New Year's resolutions, 62, 65, 69, and then 1972. And so like the first one, this sets the tone really well. I'll try to be a better husband to Marge. 65. I will not leave Marge. I will try for a reconciliation with Marge. I will try to be a better husband to Wanda. That should set the tone for who it is that they're satirizing. I'll stop looking at other women. I will not get involved with Wanda. I will not let Wanda pressure me into another marriage. I will stop looking at other women. Oh my God. Number 3, I will not yell at the kids. I'll pay more attention to the kids. I will try to visit the kids every Sunday. I will not yell at Wanda's kids. I will not let. Here, I've read all of these ones. I'm going to be surprised by one. I will not spend money frivolously. I will pay off my bank loan promptly. I will pay off my bank loans promptly. I will begin making a strong effort to get out of debt by 1975. I will work at the gym at least twice a week. I will play 18 holes of golf at least once a week. I will go to the pitch and putt course whenever I can. I will improve my game of bridge. Like it's just, I don't know. I absolutely loved this one. And if you can, if you have this issue, like read through this because it's a delight. And you know, you might read one and it might hit pretty close to home. Anyway, we'll move on from there. Here we have a mad guide to late. Oh God, can I read or what? A mad guide to TV late show cliche movie props. Now, this is like what's interesting about this is like cliche movie props. I always, what did I learn in high school? This word that I don't know people seemed familiar with is a trope, like TV and movie tropes, which I think is just like uh, it's a cliche. A word, here, let me go to the a word or expression used in a figurative sense. Wait, a common or overused theme or device, a phrase or verse added, body characterized by such allotrope, a mass in a, okay. I think it's this overused theme or device cliche. Okay, I don't know why I brought that up. I guess because now everybody refers to these as like TV tropes. And you have things like the monster movie torch, always used by hunchback assistant to antagonize monster, and always used again later on by villagers to track down monster murderer of hunchback assistant and other assorted victims. Well, that's a movie. That's not a show. This will make you talk. Hypodermic needle. Look at the little swastika there. It's a Nazi. Nazis are always the ones who are trying to get people to talk. Great listeners. That's what I've always said about Nazis. Great listeners. After brutal torture has failed, the sadistic Nazi officer has one method left to make Allied undercover agent reveal location of General Eisenhower's headquarters and the time, place, and size of upcoming invasion of Europe. The injection of truth serum. Here we have a broken amulet necklace. Handsome Arab beggar boy defies death by scaling wall of Caliph's palace in wild attempt to reach princess, whom he loves. It should be whom he loves, right? Evading guards, he finally gets to her, only to discover, by fitting together their broken amulet necklaces, that they are brother and sister. Love affair is over before it begins. Bummed out. Anyway, this is classic. Extension telephone, a periscope, weather-beaten ensign. I like the way they've done this. So they like put the gel thing on to like make this image white and then everything else grayed out. They barely did it with this. A slowly rotating ceiling fan, always used for setting the scene in either a steaming tropic jungle or the Casbah. The slower the fan turns, the more oppressive the heat, and the plot becomes. Look for intrigue, treachery, spies, murder, and Sydney Greenstreet. You know you're really grown up when, here we have Paul Coker Jr.'s beautiful illustrations with Alice Ellis. This never happened to me. This must be something from this writer's personal experience. You understand how your car is going to get through that tiny little tunnel way up the road ahead. I guess there's not a lot of tunnels where I'm from. You know you're really grown up when you always recognize the things under your bed and you're not afraid to go to sleep at night. You know you're really grown up when you can keep anything you want in your dresser drawers. The weird thing is like some of these, like this one, okay, like this one, right? It's obviously the kid, but this one works as it's like, this is the kid grown up. You know you're really grown up when nobody yells at you when you break something, and you know how to fix it. You know you're really grown up when you act up at a party, you're something called the life of it, and you don't have to go back the next day to apologize for your behavior. That's Harry Gresper. That's a future Harry Gresper right there. You know you're really grown up when you have lots of excuses for playing with the hose and getting all wet. This is like kind of a cute one, but I don't know. Maybe it's not even that funny. I think I was more amused by it the first time I read it, not so much this time. This is another kind of fun one. Distinctive birth announcements from an astrologer. Mr. and Mrs. Arcturus Shapiro regret to announce the birth of a Cancer Leo cusp with Aries rising, the moon in Sagittarius, Mars in Scorpio, and the sun and Saturn in opposition to Mercury, Jupiter, Neptune, and Pluto. From a horse player, Mr. and Mrs. Charlie Odds Grislick are pleased to announce that they've just hit an 87-1 long shot, namely twins Dwayne Damascus and Arthur Nashua. From believers in birth control, Mr. and Mrs. Richard Whiffle, their faith in medical science shaken if not destroyed completely, are stunned to announce the birth of a daughter, Ova, May 20th, 1971. That's my birthday. Not my birth year, but my birthday. Dang. Another Minnesota connection in this issue of Mad Magazine. Here's a mad peek behind the scenes at a moving company. This, as I say often, remains one of my favorite features of Mad Magazine because of the varied artists, the varied styles, and the varied interpretations of a mad peek behind the scenes. It's fantastic. Like, this is pretty darn good. The way that they all like blend together, the way like, well, that first one is like inside the warehouse. Then this one you have this background of the movers moving the stuff, and then all of these things, these little side stories placed upon it. I don't know. It's just, it's fantastic. Such a cool thing in Mad Magazine. Now you'll notice I am kind of moving faster because I'm at like 25 minutes. Holy smokes. These old ones are so hard to get through. A Mad Guide to the Political Climate of the U.S. There's the Gene McCarthy drizzle. What's up in near Minnesota? Stokely Carmichael eclipse attempts to blot out all the white light in its vicinity, leaving only a dark void across the land. Well, some think that this absence of white light will eradicate certain cancerous diseases. Most have noticed that such an action simply creates new ones in their place. No idea. Oh, look at, here's a poor Ralph Nader catching heat again. And then we have Willard. Is it Michael Caine? Who's in Willard? Somebody is going to have to tell me in the comments. I'm bummed out. This is Mort Drucker doing this one. And it's great. It looks fantastic. But we are simply out of time in this episode. Here is a fold-in. What recent byproduct of American industry is winning the public's confidence? Ralph Nader. This is really good. That's super well hidden, too. Anyway, when Johnny comes marching home again, hurrah, hurrah. You guys, this has been Flippin' Through. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. I've screwed up this whole thing. This has been Mad Magazine number 149. Thank you so much for watching. Toodaloo.